I hope this episode makes your heart flutter. I've always loved to imagine what it would be like for me to sit with my younger self, maybe my 3 year old self, my 5 year old self, to sit across the table from her and what I would say to her. I've always thought about that moment where two versions of myself, one who did not know what was coming, one who did not know what life had in store for her, the other who has gone through the ups and downs, the highs and lows, has gone through so many things she would have never expected. I've always wondered what those two versions of myself would have to say to each other. I've always considered my younger self to be my goal whenever I work towards something and I remember my younger self, my goals feel more genuine. They feel more special. Whenever I sit back and I think about what I'm doing with my life and I think of making that 5 year old self, that 3 year old self proud, it gives me some sense of purpose and genuine purpose. It's almost like I feel devoted to my younger self. She's my wallpaper. She is my profile picture on literally every single social media because there's a deep sense of connection that I feel to her. I feel like I owe her life. I owe her a full life, a free life, a true life. I need to give her what she never had. I need to make her dreams come true. And it's not really feeling like I'm obligated to her, but feeling like I am her mother and I just want to give her everything that I never had. I'm always so deeply devoted to her. And I've thought about a moment where I'd sit in front of her. And the first thing I do is start crying instead of actually say anything. If I imagine myself sitting across from my younger self, I just start crying because I am her. And as weird as that is to comprehend, it's true. I am her. And it's a funny concept. When you look at photos of your younger self, you know that's you, but you don't really feel like it's you. And I know there's a word for that. Life is so funny. We were never asked to be here. We were never told to, make applications to be born, to choose where we want to be born, to choose the path in life that we want to go through. And sometimes I like to think of my life as something that I chose. After birth, maybe my memories were wiped away, just like in Boss Baby. Sometimes I like to imagine that that's the case. Maybe it's because it gives me like a little bit of sense of control over my life, and it makes me feel like, to some extent, I am the reason why everything that's going on in my life is going on. Like, I chose this life. I was given a manuscript and I got to see the whole plot. I got to see the selection of people that would be in this life of mine, the selection of where I would live, my family, my life story, my ups and downs, and my ending. And I decided before birth that yes, this is the life I want. And I applied to get the life of Lily Mwenda. And I like to think of it that way because it makes me feel like my life has a bigger purpose than I have yet seen. And it also makes me feel like my life is or was at some point in my control. And it also makes me think that there's a really great ending for me because why would I choose this life if there was nothing great ahead of me? Sometimes I think that our imaginations can save us a lot from realities. I have found in my life as I've grown up that my imagination has become something that has saved me so many times, that has made my days lighter, that has made me feel better about my life, about things that are going on, about where I'm headed, about the future that I don't know about. I think we were given imagination for greater purposes than writing, creating, and such. I think we were given imagination so that even our own lives, we could create them. You can create a version of a future in your head. And I feel like sometimes it can be scary to use your imagination because you might get attached to an idea which you're not really sure will come to pass. And that's scary, of course. But at the same time, you can use your imagination to make your life a little lighter. I like to imagine a future for myself, and especially when I'm going through a dark moment, I like to remind myself of the imagined future that I have. Sometimes I write them down. Sometimes I just take a notebook and I detail a day, a specific day in that future life, and I try and live in it as much as possible. Sometimes I close my eyes and I visualize it in so much detail that I don't even feel my body. It feels like I'm not even here. I am there. And I've loved traveling to places in my mind. I've loved seeing myself go places, seeing myself do things, seeing myself actually live in my mind, first of all. I think your mind is really powerful and it's something that we all know. But if you can use your imagination to create beautiful things for yourself, to make your life even just a little bit better, so much can change in your life. You can make better decisions, you can live happier days, you can be more excited for the future that maybe you once dreaded. And sometimes you come to realize that your imagination is not actually so far-fetched, because some of the things that you imagine do come to pass. And in that moment, when you sit in that moment where your imagination has become a reality, it feels so wholesome. It's such a full circle moment, and you almost don't know how to feel or how to express the joy that you're feeling. Screaming is not enough, jumping up is not enough. You just want to burst into a million pieces. And I love that feeling so much. Happens rarely, but I really do love it. Dearest, I beg of you, go on a walk. This sounds so simple, but going on a walk has changed so many things for me. I feel like we really sometimes underestimate the power of being grounded, actually physically touching the earth, not the floor in your house, but the ground, the soil, the grass, taking off your shoes and walking barefoot on the grass. I know science has shown that there's actually benefits to this because you are actually grounded. Remember, your body has electrical signals, and when you step on the ground, you're actually grounded. So there's some science behind that, but also even mentally, you do feel better when you go on a walk. I've thought of many days, like I can recount so many days where I was feeling some type of way. I did not understand how I was feeling, and I just went out for a 5-minute walk, came back feeling so grateful for life, so excited to live, feeling like all my dreams can come true simply because I took a walk. I think the smallest things in life are just what make our lives better. And so I implore you to take more walks. I implore you to go outside, to pick a flower. I implore you to touch the grass, to walk outside barefoot, and to feel the grass and be actually grounded. Dearest, in your muchness, you are enough. So many times in my life, I have felt like I was too much, or even at times too little. I never felt like I was enough for anyone, even for myself. It's either I was doing too much, or I was doing too little, or I was doing nothing at all. And this state of imbalance can make you really feel off within yourself. I think I always thought to some extent that I would be enough once I got a specific thing, once I got to a specific point in life. And in the moment, I was never adequate, never enough. There's somewhere I read, or I think it was a tweet or a post or something, that was saying that as you work towards your goals, the person that you are right now is the person that is getting you to your goals. So she is even more important than the person who has gotten the goal, because the person who has gotten the goal because of the person you are right now. I think we always seem to idealize a version of ourselves, either a past version of ourselves or a future version of ourselves, but always in the moment we never feel like we are enough. You idealize the past version of yourself, but when you were that version, you never felt enough, and you are idealizing a future version of yourself. Right now, you idealize a version of yourself maybe 2 years from now, but when you get there, you still won't feel enough. There is never anything else that we have control over, and nothing else that we can really truly hold on to like the present. The present is all we have, and I feel like this is a message I have had to constantly remind myself that life, Lily, life is happening right this second. You see, right now it's 11:57 a.m. When is life happening? Life is happening at 11:57 a.m. And that's it. Life is happening now. Yes, you can have memories of the past. You can be able to recall things. You can be able to imagine a future. But all that is happening now. And so if I am not enough right now, when will I ever be enough? My now is my past. My now is my future. If I'm never enough in this now, in this present, when will I ever be enough? I have learned that being enough is not really about having a certain this, that, or the other. It's not about acquiring something. You don't acquire something so that you become enough. Being enough is just accepting and cherishing who you are and reminding yourself that right now, as you are worthy of everything that life has to offer. Like all the joy that life has to offer, if life was to come and offer it right now, I am enough. I can receive it because I deserve it as I am. All the joy, all the love, all the peace, all the prosperity, all the success, all that life has to offer, I am enough for it. I deserve it. Being enough is realizing that you deserve to feel good things. You deserve to experience life in its fullness because you deserve it. There's nothing you ever need to do to deserve it. Like, there is no qualification for you to be enough. If you are less successful than you are right now, if you are less happy than you are right now, you'd still deserve life. You'd still deserve all the good things that life has to give you. And sometimes our past mistakes, our failures, our insecurities, our drawbacks, like everything negative about us makes us feel like we don't really deserve the things that life has to offer, especially the good things. We feel like we are deserving of bad things. We're deserving of failure. We're deserving of losing love. We're deserving of sadness. We're deserving of all these negative things simply because we know in our hearts of hearts that we are not perfect, that we're not the best we could be, that we're not as good as we could be. We know that we have faults and failures. But even when you have faults and failures, you still deserve happiness, a slice of joy. You deserve all these good things. Whenever I find myself thinking that I'm not enough, I like to step back and see myself as someone else. I think it's easy for us to shed compassion on other people, especially people that we love. So I imagine myself as someone else, someone that I love. Could be a friend. I just imagine I am my friend. And I come to myself and I say, I do not deserve love, joy, and success because of this, that, and the other. And I imagine what I would say to them. Maybe sometimes you need to step outside of yourself to be able to be compassionate to yourself. This reminds me of something that I've also been learning. I've been learning how to forgive myself for past mistakes, to forgive myself for things I couldn't have known, for situations I couldn't have handled better because I wasn't equipped enough at that time. And I always have to remind myself to forgive myself over and over again, to bathe myself in a river of compassion and to know that my mistakes don't cancel who I am as a person. I am not the sum of my mistakes, the sum of the good things I do or the bad things I've done. I am just a human being like any other. Sometimes when you go through a lot in life and you don't really ever succeed in anything that you work towards, it's easy for you to think that life is just like that for you. And, life is just unfair. Life is just, I'm just unlucky. It's just me. We are always so quick to blame ourselves. And I don't know why this is the reason. I don't know if there's some neuroscience behind it, but we're always so quick to blame ourselves for life, to blame ourselves for things which are out of our control. We're always so fast at it, and it's easy for your brain to just run back to, oh, I am the problem. It's me. Of course, I am the problem. Of course, this did not work out because of me. But really, it did not work out because it was never meant to work out. Even if you changed and you were the quote-unquote perfect version of yourself who should have gotten what you failed at getting, you would still not get it if you're never meant to get it. I think as I grow older, I just realized that maybe some things are just not ours to get. Your life will literally never go wrong. Your life will unfold the way it was meant to. This reminds me of a line in a song that I had a few weeks ago, and I mentioned this to a friend of mine. It's Nabado by Heart the Band and Yashinsky. And I had a line in the song that was saying, Vile meli inaenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda, kasi hivyo basi meli ingezama. That means the way the ship is going is the way it was meant to go. If not, the ship would have already sunk. And that line just hit me like a truck because it just means that the way your life is going right now is the way it was always meant to go. Can you just pause a little and think about that? The way your life is going, like as messy, as complicated, as hard, as difficult, as frustrating, as depressing as it might be right now, is how it was meant to go. And if not, if your life was not going how it was meant to go, it would have already ended. You would have died. If your life was not on track, you would have died. I just love this line so much because we always try to live life right, We are always trying to do things right and to get our story right. And when things like disappointment and hopelessness and failure come our way, we tend to think that we're the ones who have gone about it wrong and we have maybe deviated off our life's path. But no. If you had deviated off your life's path, there would be no life. Because if you have a path that's life and you deviate off the path, then you're not in life anymore. You're not alive anymore. Do you see what I'm getting at? The way your life is going right now is just how it was always meant to go. I think thinking of it this way just makes you a bit more easy on yourself. We always feel like we have to be the managers of our lives. We have to ensure things are going according to plan. But I tend to think that most of life is just predetermined and out of our control. And even the decisions that you make thinking that it's you who's in control, it's a theory. I don't know if it's true, but I think it was always meant to go that way. And I'm learning to trust that I am not on the wrong path. It's easy for me to spiral and to think I did things wrong and to start regretting so many things. But I'm learning over time that vile meli inaenda ndivyo ilifaa kwenda. It's still on the right track. It's just that the right track might not look like what I expected it to look. I've also gotten into a practice of telling myself that my life is going to be so extremely, and I mean extremely, beautiful. I am getting to constantly reminding myself that my life is going to be so, 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 so beautiful, so much more than I've ever dreamed it to be. And something great is coming my way. I just constantly keep reminding myself that even when it's so bleak, when things are going absolutely not my way, I just keep on reminding myself that my life is about to be so beautiful, our future is so bright, so bright that it's more than I could ever imagine it. And as I've told you, I am someone who practices a lot of imagination. So I do have like a version of my life in the future imagined already, and it's so great that it scares me to some extent. But when I tell myself my life will be even greater than I can imagine it, and I keep on telling myself that, I get to a point where I believe it, and every single day when I wake up, I'm just excited, waiting for that. My days become happier, my days become more magical, quote unquote, because I keep on feeling like I'm getting closer to this extremely bright and beautiful ball of light, which is my future. And everything that I go through that's hard, every rejection, every failure, every step back, I feel like that's just a step in the right direction. As you climb a mountain, the higher you climb, the steeper it is, the harder it is. In life, you need to realize that the hardest moments in life are not really moments meant to put you down, but they are moments that show you that you are on the right track. I had something recently during an engineering summit in school, and the lady who was talking said that pressure is something you should not wish away. Pressure is something that helps you stretch and makes you better. And when she said that, I was so stumped in a way, because no one likes pressure. When you're in a period of life where there's so much pressure, so much you're going through, like so many things you have to juggle at the same time, you just want that period of life to end, and you always feel like that's the worst season of your life. We always love the easy seasons of life. We love the seasons of life where happiness comes easily, life is fun, life is easy, our days are good, we don't have pressure, we don't have so many responsibilities. But that's not the way of life. And what the lady said just reminds me that even the seasons of life where there's so much pressure are seasons where something great is about to unfold. Think about it. I feel like the earth is usually full of a lot of metaphors. Something like the darkest hour is right before dawn. Something like the pressure is greatest when you're near the top. These things are not just metaphors, they're things that are meant to kind of guide us. And I feel like the earth already is a manual for life. The way the trees move, the way nature is, the way processes naturally happen on earth, it's a manual to us. It's a manual for us, showing us how we are supposed to approach our own lives, showing us how we should interpret seasons of our lives. The way trees have seasons of shedding leaves, seasons of growing new leaves. It's all written right in front of us. When you walk outside, it's in the clouds, it's in the water, it's on the soil, it's all around you. The manual of your life is literally the nature and the earth around you. The processes that happen on earth, evaporation, condensation, volcanic activity, everything is telling you something about life. You just need to open your eyes and see it. And so when you're in a season of life where there's so much pressure, so much goddamn pressure, like the pressure is not just getting worse and worse, it is worstest. I know there's no such word, but bear with me. You need to remember that that's a season of life that's great. That's a season of life where you need to be very keen and you need to realize that the pressure is meant to stretch you, to make you better. So when you are in a period of life where there's a lot of pressure, realize that it's time for you to stretch. Be ready to stretch. It's not going to be easy, of course, but you don't expect it to be easy. The only time you don't face a lot of strain when you're climbing a mountain is when you are at a flat plane, when you are at a point where the slope is zero. It is flat. You can walk. There is no stress. You can rest. And life is full of that. It's important when you're climbing a mountain for you to have such zones so that you can regain your strength. You can take a breath. You can remember that life will always have such moments for you. You know, you can remember that even if there's pressure, even if there's stress, you'll always get to a point where you can breathe. It's important to remember that, but it's also important that after you rest, you keep climbing the mountain. Because if you never keep climbing the mountain, you'll never reach the top. And when you don't get to the top, you don't get to see the view, you don't get to experience the fullness of success and victory and your life at the top of the mountain. I feel like I've preached for those 5 minutes. I was just so inspired. And so make it a practice also for yourself to imagine and to constantly just tell yourself, my life will be so beautiful. Everything I imagine will come to pass and even greater than I imagine it. You know, sometimes if you think about the fact that we are just kind of prisoners to time, life is always going to keep moving day after day after day after day after day. You might as well then make it interesting, you know? If you're stuck here, you might as well have fun. That's what I'm saying. If you're stuck here, you might as well, weird out, fart around, just enjoy your life. If you are in life, take full advantage of it. And remember that you're the one who applied for it. So why? Imagine, like, why would you as a soul applying for life, why would you choose your life? There has to have been something in your life that you saw and you felt like, yes, this is very worth it. Despite the fact that there's so many ups and downs, there's so many zigzags, there's so many hurdles. This life is the one I want because of this. This is the life that is worth it. And you decided, okay, I'm going to apply for this person's life and I am going to be them. Think about that. The more I live life, the more I realize that I'm surrounded by human beings, much like me. I think all throughout my life, I probably never saw people as people who have humanity and who have full lives. The concept of Sonda never really attached itself to my brain properly. And it's only right now that I am starting to see it everywhere. Everyone around me is also just trying to figure out life. To you, I am just a stranger or I'm just a side character. I'm just someone you're never really going to know much about. You probably only know the few things that you see about me, the few things that you've heard about me, the few things that I say about myself. But you will never get to know me as you know yourself. You'll never get to experience my life as you experience yourself. And same to me. I don't know you. I don't really know you. I might know your name, I might know your face, but I don't really know you. And the realization that everyone just has a big life and a complicated life, everyone is literally struggling with something right now, this very moment. If you were to ask every single person, is there something you're struggling with? And if you were to understand it just like they understood it, you would realize that they are just like you, human beings. And I think seeing human beings as humanity, seeing them as people with life, seeing my friends as people with lives so complex that I'll never understand has made me see life a lot differently, like a lot more differently than I used to. Number one, because I nowadays don't blame myself for everything. If someone was not in the mood to talk, if someone was not chatty on that day with me, it was not really because of me. It's probably because they're going through something. And I should not just put the spotlight on myself and think, oh, I am the problem and this and that and the other. If someone was not able to show up on a certain day and I expected them to show up, it's not really about me, you know? And it's not just about thinking it's not about me. It's also about thinking, what could they be going through? Like, how can I be able to make someone's humanity better? I like saying humanity over life because I feel like humanity feels more human. I don't know why. But I like imagining that I can make someone else's day better by just the smallest of things, you know? I've become addicted to the idea of small gestures, small things, something small, something you said, something you complimented them on, something you told them that you've realized about them, something that you gave them. Maybe you just write them a little note with a smiley face, and that can make someone's day so much better. You know, we don't even need big things. We just need small gestures to make our lives better. And I like to think of how I can make someone else's day better, even just a stranger. I remember here at home where I live, whenever I come back from school, there's a shop that's right next to our main road. And there's one time as I was coming back home, I decided to buy some eggs from that store. And the lady who was there said, hi. And I said, hi. And she was like, I usually see you passing by all the time. And I wanted to tell you, you're so beautiful. And you look like such a nice person. And I felt so touched by that, you know. I just felt so warm in my chest because it showed me that someone else saw me as a human and someone else could make my day better just by doing something so small. So whenever I pass by there, I just wave to her, or I come and I tell her, you're such a nice person, or I buy something from her shop. And it's never just a normal interaction. It's always something that makes my day better. Even if, for example, I've had a really bad day, I can just pass by there, say hi to her. I'm not even buying anything. I just say, hi, how are you doing? Are you doing good? I'm also doing good. And I will feel lighter. And I like to think that that's the gift of humanity. That's what we can offer each other. We can offer each other the gift of making our lives easier and lighter and lifting each other's souls. Community is so important. People around you are so important. And maybe modern life is more individualistic. It kind of teaches us that we are enough by ourselves. You know, we are taught to self-love and to be independent and all that. And it's so important. But at the same time, we are losing the art of connection, community, the art of just being able to stay with people and hold their humanity in your hands and know that you can do something to make their day better. You can do something to make someone's life better. I also think that we underestimate the power of small gestures because you never really know what someone's going through, and they don't always need this grand gesture of you buying them this really expensive present that they've always wanted. Even just something small like a note, something small like telling them something good about them, something to remind them to get out of their head and to remind them that they are beautiful and loved and seen. People need to feel seen. The same way you want to be seen and need to be seen, other people need to be seen. There's such a satisfaction you get also when you spend your days like seeing people as human beings and actually listening to what they say instead of always listening to respond. Listen to understand who they are. I have a friend who's really good at listening, and I love it. I love interacting with her because I can see just how skilled she is at listening to understand you as a person. She will not even interject with, examples from her own life constantly. She will try and explore your conversation about yourself with you. It's like you're having a monologue with yourself, but she is there and she's helping you have the monologue with yourself. And I love that. And I'm trying to practice more of that, to actually listen to people, not just because we are seated together and we have to make conversation. To listen to people because they deserve to be heard, they deserve to be seen, and because people are interesting, people have quirks, people are weird, and it's so beautiful to see. People do things that, would make you so surprised, but would also make you laugh so much. And they're also so different, despite the fact that we have many people who are introverts, many who are extroverts. They're all just so different. They are all just so unique. It's so fun to see people and to witness people. And I feel like even as someone who likes to do art, create art, it inspires me a lot to witness people and to just notice the things about them that make them so them, things that give them their sense of self. And They also teach me about how I want to live my life, how I want to be listened to, how I want to be seen. Try and practice moving a bit slower, you know? Don't rush to answer people, don't rush to do things. Try and be slower and see how much you can notice about other people. People are always telling stories about themselves, you know? You just have to listen. From the way they dress, from the way they carry themselves, they're always saying something. I feel like my life is not just mine, my life is everyone else's. And I feel like everyone else's life is also mine. And we are all just connected. We're in a web. The thing is, we always think we are solitary. We think we are singular, while we are not. The slower you move through life, the more poems you'll see around you, in other people, in things that people say. You will see them if you just take the time to slow down and open your eyes. This has just reminded me of something that I read. For a while, I used to struggle with feeling loneliness, like just feeling so alone, yet so surrounded by people. And I read something that was written by Joanne Didion that made me see loneliness as something completely different from just being alone. I'm gonna read it out to you. Sorry, it's not by Joanne Didion, it's by Ocean Vuong, and I saw it on Pinterest. It's from a book known as Someday I'll Love Ocean Vuong. And it says, and remember, loneliness is still time spent with the world. Oh my god, human beings, like, where do you guys get such words? Because this just makes me feel like tearing my face off. Remember, loneliness is still time spent with the world. You're not really lonely, there's air around you. I know that feels a bit whimsical, but yeah, you're not really lonely. There's air around you, there's life around you, there's the world around you. Yes, you might not be with someone, you might not be around someone, you might feel alone even if you are in a room full of people. But even in that moment, when you're so zoned out and you are in a room full of people but you feel alone, you are with the world. Does that make any sense? It makes so much sense to me. And it makes me see loneliness so differently because I think the older I've grown, the more lonely I felt. And it's simply because sometimes you just feel like people don't understand you. Yes, you're surrounded by people. Yes, you're talking to people, but you just don't feel seen or understood in the way that you need to be. And so this just reminds me that I'm never really alone. And maybe my loneliness is important. Maybe I need to spend time with the world and I need to feel alone and away from people so that I can feel one with the world around me. Because in that moment, when I'm so in my head and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lonely, there is like, I'm with you. The wind blows by and it tells me, you're not alone. The grass, the trees which are waving, they're like, okay, now you can finally see us because you're not really alone. Now that you think that no one else can see and understand you, look at us, look at the clouds, look at the sky, and see that it understands you. It understands what you're going through without even having to tell it. There's this song that's playing right now as I speak to you in my ear. It's known as Speak Your Mind by Mark Beno. And I don't know, I just felt like mentioning it. Another thing, it's so important for you to make art in this life. Everybody is an artist. Everybody is an artist. You just have to be able to tune into your frequency for art. There's a theory that I have. I think that every human being has a certain vibration that's unique to them. You vibrate at a certain frequency that you might not even know, but whenever you are able to tap into things which vibrate at the same frequency, then you live a life that is so coherent. Have you ever seen someone who has such a distinct personal style, personal sense of self, way of being? The way they do things is just so aligned with themselves. I think people like these are people who vibrate at the same frequency with the things that they put into their lives, with the things they do, the ways in which they speak. Their way of life is coherent and it's resonant with the things they include in their lives, with the things they do, with the way they present themselves. I feel like it's so important for all of us to find these things which vibrate at our frequency and to build our lives around them. I don't really have a formula for that. I don't really know how someone is supposed to do it, but maybe just try things, be curious, approach your life with the attitude of someone who is seeking something, you know? Approach your life with the attitude of someone who is looking for something. and someone who is willing to experience it all. You need to also be careful, of course, as you experience it all. I'm not really saying actually experience everything, but be willing to be free to let yourself try things which are not harmful to you, of course, things which help you discover yourself more. If there's an event you've been invited to, if there's somewhere you've always wanted to go and there's no one to go with you, go by yourself, you know. Don't let fear hold you back from actually doing things that you want to do, because sometimes we build our lives so fully around fear. We draw lines, we draw walls, we build walls, we craft ourselves around fear of a life, and we are alive but we're not really living because we are so afraid of living. And of course it's understandable because there's so many things to be afraid of, but at the same time, the fear is always all in your head, to be quite honest. I'm someone who has lived life so afraid, like never doing anything that I'd want to do simply because of the many fears that are all in my head. You need to remember that your task in life is to simply just be yourself. And I know that that sounds so straightforward, just be yourself, but really, who is yourself? I think also something that used to scare me a lot is change. I was always someone who's never flexible. Maybe in a way I still am, but I'm learning to be more open to change. You know, you are a process. If you were to draw a spiral keeps on going and going, and it's always changing. And I feel like that's who we are. We are never static. We are always evolving, always falling apart, building ourselves anew, changing, becoming, unbecoming, realizing, unrealizing. We are always in the process of changing, even in the smallest of ways. And when you're so static and rigid and so attached to a version of yourself that you think you are, and you really are not, then you really end up ruining your own life because you don't want yourself to change, and change is inevitable. You need to be like water, flow into versions of yourself. Allow yourself to change. You liked this thing one day, you don't like it today. That's not a tell of who you are. It's not showing that you are someone who's completely different and that's something wrong. It's just showing you that you're changing and you're evolving and you're becoming someone new, and that's okay. You need to remember that you're fluid. You're never going to stay the same person. So live in versions of yourself without being attached to them. There's a time I used to be so nostalgic for a version of myself of the past, and I was never happy as who I was in the moment. I was always thinking, oh, I used to be this, I used to be that. And then I realized, you know what? I can decide that I want to be some of the things that I was in the past and still be them right now. I can also decide that I don't want to be that person and I can stop it. I do not have to keep on wishing for a version of myself that is past and letting this version I am right now go unrealized. Whoever I am in the moment, my task is to be them as much as I can. And anyone who's holding me back from being myself is not someone I need to hold on to. I think I'm realizing more and more that in life you need to be so open to being terrible. Be terrible at things. Don't hold yourself back from dancing and moving your body because you're afraid you're going to be bad. You're afraid you have two left feet. Have the two left feet and dance anyway. You need to be so free to make bad things, you know? Making bad things is actually the essence of art. And I love seeing art that's so badly made, because art that's so badly made has such an element of perfection or beauty, not even perfection, beauty to it. When you see someone who has sketched something so horrible, it's so beautiful, you know? When you see someone dancing so weirdly, they look so alive, they look so free, they look so themselves, they look so fluid. When you see someone who's writing something that doesn't even make sense, it is so beautiful to see. Make terrible things, make terrible art, make things that make you feel imperfect, make things that make you cringe. Show up in life imperfect. Show up messily, like literally show up with the bent back. Show up even if you're not confident enough. Raise your hand even if your voice will shake. You need to learn that you can do life imperfectly. You need to learn that life is not meant to be done by those who can do it right, those who can do it perfectly, those who can speak extremely confidently, those who can be able to get their goals to the T. Life is meant to be done by those who are willing to do it and do it badly and do it over and over and over. And instead of measuring the value of what you do by how well you do it, start measuring the value of your life by how many times you go after what you want, even if you do it imperfectly. There's so much beauty to be found in terrible things, in things that are done awkwardly, in dancing with two left feet, in singing with an off-key voice. There's so much beauty in that, in creating super bad art, coloring over the lines, coloring colors which don't match, drawing 3 eyes instead of two. These things which are conflicting, things that we think don't work together, things that don't seem right, are so beautiful. You need to trust your weirdness more. I think sometimes we are made to think that there's only one version or two, or just a countable number of versions of being that are acceptable, that are loved, that are successful, that are cool, that are pleasurable to the eye, to the ear, that we think that we are only lovable and worthy and accepted by others if we are a certain version of ourselves. And sometimes you find that you abandon your weirdness to please other people. Honestly, these other people are just people like you. You know, they're just people like you. So if you would not want someone to care what you think about them, don't care what others think about you. These people are also trying to figure out their own lives. Like, what should it matter what they say? Why should it matter what they say about you? It shouldn't. It doesn't. Listen to the song that you want to listen to. Listen to that artist that you want to listen to, no matter what anyone says. No one should judge you for being you. Anyone who judges you for being you is not someone you need to keep in your life. You need to embrace your weirdness, whether or not those who are around you embrace it too. They're not obligated to like you when you're weird, but you can still be weird. I think everything that I'm trying to say is basically that you are okay. Do I know the circumstances of your life? No, but you are okay. Is it messy? Is it cloudy? Is it extremely depressing? Are you absolutely going through it? Are you so tired? Are you so worried? Are you so anxious? Are you trying to heal but meeting so many roadblocks? Are you trying to understand something that's not working out? Are you trying to figure out your feelings on something? Are you trying to work things out with someone? Are you trying to reach for a seemingly impossible goal? Are you trying to get out of your shell more? Are you trying to learn to enjoy life more? Are you trying to find your place? Are you trying to find your people? Are you trying to find belonging? Are you trying to move outside your comfort zone? Are you trying to create? Are you trying to be yourself? Are you trying to treat people better? Are you trying to learn from your mistakes? Are you trying to be a better person? Are you trying to create a future that you love? Are you trying to heal from the past? Are you grieving? Have you lost something? Have you lost someone? Do you feel like you're exhausted? Do you just feel like you want everything to stop? Are you super, super, super tired? Do you just need a really long nap? Do you need someone to give you such a tight hug that you don't have to remember that you have muscles, that you can be able to hold yourself together? Do you want to melt in someone's arms? Do you want to run away? Do you want to run away and never come back? Do you want to tell people how you feel? Do you want peace? Do you want this year to be over? Do you want to go back to last year and maybe relive it? Are you waiting for a certain period of this year because something great is about to happen? Are you worried about something? Is there a dream of yours that's about to happen, but there's so many roadblocks? Are you experiencing so much change? Do you feel like you no longer know yourself? Are you feeling sad for no reason at all? Are you unable to get out of your bed? Are you trying to be positive, trying to see things better, but you can't? Are you struggling and you're not telling anyone about it? Are you afraid to trust people? Are you trying to love yourself more? Are you trying to learn to work on yourself? Are you failing over and over again? Are you frustrated that there's nothing new happening in your life? Are you looking for inspiration but you can't seem to find it? Are you trying to create but you can't seem to? Are you looking for real friends? Are you looking for real connections? Are you doubting everything in your life right now? Is life completely and utterly confusing and unpredictable in the moment? I think you need to know that you're okay, and it's okay. It's okay. You are still alive. You are still breathing. The saliva in my mouth is done. I cannot keep on speaking more. I have taken a break for a while from creating episodes, and it was because I was in a creative block. I kept on putting it off. I recorded some episodes and then I was like, no, they're not really, they feel so forced. I don't feel like I'm speaking from the heart and all that. And so, yeah, today I just decided to come and just speak, just talk to the air, talk to the sky, just talk to myself and tell myself what I need to hear, what someone might need to hear. And yeah, I hope this episode made your heart flutter. The song that's currently playing in my ears right now is Can't Keep My Cool by Durand Jones and the Indications. I wish you a lovely day. It was so nice to come back. I'll see you in the next episode. I was drinking water just in case I forgot to tell you for the whole episode. I need to get back to my creative drinks like cinnamon teas and all that. But for today, water is the most creative you can get. I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Bisous, bisous, as our high school French students used to say, which means you go look it up for yourself. I don't want to say it.